Okay, let's come to our next sentence. Are you ready? Yeah, ready. So, Tony, he ate 7 pieces of cake and 2 bowls of ice cream. And Tina? What did Tina eat? What did she eat? Sorry. She ate 1 salad. Alright, so let's come to our next sentence. Okay, let's see. Oh, we have a new word. Later. Okay, later is okay. Later that day. Later that day. Later that day. Later that day is the end of the day. Yes, later that day. Maybe it's in the evening. Yes, in the evening of the day. Right. Later that day. Right. Later that day. Yes. So later that day. Right. So yeah, we will point to the back like this. Okay. Later that day. Later that day. Right. So we have new slang, new words. Okay, let's see. Feeling under the weather. Feeling under the weather. Feeling under the weather. Yeah, you know, feeling under the weather means you're sick. Yeah, you're sick. You're not good. Yes, if you're not good, you feel bad. Feeling under the weather. Yes, feeling under the weather. Right? Alright. Feeling under the weather. Okay. So, feeling under the weather, we will action like this. Okay? Feeling under the weather. Oh, feeling under the weather. Okay, you can one hand on the stomach. Okay, so feeling under the weather. Oh my God. Yes. Feeling under the weather. Or in this sentence, you can feeling under the weather. Oh my God. Feeling under the weather. Feeling under the weather. Yes, not good, bad, sick. Feeling under the weather. Okay, so feeling under the weather. Yeah, feeling under the weather. Later that day. Alright, so let's come to our sentence. Okay, let's see. Later that day, he stopped feeling under the weather. Yeah? Later that day, he stopped feeling under the weather. Later that day. Yeah, later or later is okay. Later that day, he stopped. Okay, he stopped feeling under the weather. Okay, so later that day. Okay, later that day, he stopped. Okay, he started. Okay, he started. Okay, so later that day, he started feeling under the weather. Oh my God! Yeah. Later that day, he started feeling under the weather. Alright, so the last one. Later that day, he started feeling under the weather. Alright? Later that day, he started feeling under the weather. Alright, so are you ready? Later that day, he started feeling under the weather. Ooh, right, so later that day, did Tony feel strong? No. Later that day, Tony he started feeling under the weather. Later that day, did Tony feel good? No, he's not good. Or he was not good. Later that day, he started feeling under the weather. So, later that day, who started feeling under the weather? Who? Tony. Yes, Tony he started feeling under the weather. Later that day, how did Tony feel? Well, later that day, he started feeling under the weather. Oh my God. So, later that day or later that day, what happened? What happened with Tony? What happened with him? Well, he started feeling under the weather. Who started feeling under the weather? Who? Tony. Yes, Tony. So, later that day, what happened with Tony? What happened with him? Well, he started feeling under the weather. He started feeling under the weather. Who started feeling under the weather? Tony, yeah, because Tony he started feeling under the weather. Later that day, what did Tony start? What did Tony start? Well, he started feeling under the weather. So, did Tony start feel sick? Sick. Yes, okay. He started feel sick. He started feeling under the weather. Yeah. Who started feel sick? Tony. Yes, Tony. He started feel sick. He started feeling under the weather. So, how did Tony feel that day? Well, he started feeling under the weather. Yeah. Did he feel not good? Yeah, he felt not good. He started feeling under the weather. So why did Tony started feeling under the weather? Why did he start feeling under the weather? Well, maybe because of he ate a lot of sweets. Maybe that. I don't know exactly, but maybe that. Maybe he ate a lot of sweets. So later that day, he started feeling under the weather. Right? So what happened with Tony later that day? Yeah, he started feeling under the weather. What did Tony eat when he got out and about with Tina? Well, he ate 7 pieces of cakes and 2 bowls of ice cream. So that why later that day he started feeling under the weather. Right? So listen to this mini story again and again and again. It is very important. Really, very, very important. Thank you very much and see you next time.